Hey everybody, I'm Mr. J, and welcome to this month's episode of Steam Train. This month, we're going to be talking about rocks, minerals, and crystals. And at the very end, we're going to make our very own crystal sun catchers. But we'll get to that in a minute. First, we got to talk about rocks and minerals and crystals. So the study of rocks and minerals is called geology, and geologists are people who study rocks and minerals. There's three major types of rocks, and we're going to go over them real quick. I know they're a little bit hard to remember, but I'm going to teach you a song so that you'll remember them. So the different types of rocks are metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary. And those are tough. So let's try to say them together. Ready? Repeat after me. Metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary. And an easy way to remember them is with a song. I'm going to sing it first and then you can sing it with me. Ready? It goes like this. Metamorphic, metamorphic, igneous, igneous, sedimentary, sedimentary, rocks, 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 rocks. All right, let's go through it again. One time together again, real quick. Ready? Metamorphic, metamorphic, igneous, igneous, sedimentary, sedimentary, rocks, 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 rocks. All right, good job. So why does it matter that there's all these different kinds of rocks? Well, all the different rocks have different properties and they're very important. So let's start with igneous. So igneous rocks start underground as lava and magma, and they come out onto the surface usually through, that's right, a volcano. And when that rock comes out, eventually it will cool off and harden and it will become a brand new igneous rock. Now, sedimentary rocks, they're formed when lots of little particles from other rocks come together, usually on like an ocean floor, something like that. And they settle together, and once that water disappears, the different sediments kind of come together and harden, and they become sedimentary rocks. And they usually have cool little streaks through them, and you'll find them in like rivers and lakes. And then lastly, you have metamorphic rocks. A metamorphic rock is when you have an igneous or sedimentary rock that gets crushed and pressurized and smashed down with a bunch of heat and pressure, and it becomes a totally different type of rock. So there's a special thing called the rock cycle, and it's very slow. So last time we kind of talked about the water cycle with the ocean water going up, getting into clouds, raining down, goes into the rivers and goes back out to the ocean. There's also a rock cycle, and it's much, much slower. So the rock cycle, like I said, it starts here in the volcano. Lava comes out, and when it cools, it creates what kind of rocks? Igneous rocks. Very good. Those igneous rocks will get crushed down into sediment over time, either through wind or ice or water, and then after hundreds of thousands of years, maybe even millions of years, they'll form into sedimentary rocks. Those sedimentary rocks eventually will find their way to the ocean, either through rivers or lakes, or sometimes animals can carry them. And once they go into the ocean, all of that pressure and everything will crush them down until they become what kind of rock? There's only one left. Metamorphic rocks, exactly. And then sometimes metamorphic rocks, they'll find their way back under the earth, either through like the deep sea trenches or a volcanic vent. They get melted back down, turned into magma, and then eventually find their way back to the surface again, thanks to volcanoes. And that is the rock cycle. It's very similar to the rain cycle, the water cycle, but it's just a lot slower, usually. So now we've talked about rocks. What is a mineral? So a mineral is any non-living material that occurs naturally, such as gold, silver, quartz, sulfur, anything like that, granite. Those are all minerals. And sometimes people will dig for those minerals like gold, and that's called mining. So we know what rocks are, we know what minerals are, but what is a crystal? How do crystals form? So basically a crystal is when you have minerals that are mixed in to a rock. And you can try to break the rock open, but you might break the minerals and then it's all just a big mess. So the way crystals form is when you have minerals inside of a rock and the rock gets eroded away and the mineral stays behind. Now sometimes that happens, most of the time that happens with water, but sometimes it can happen with sand or wind or anything like that. And when it gets weathered away or erodes, you have a crystal left behind. And limestone is a great one to make crystals because limestone, as far as rocks go, is very soft and it erodes pretty easily. And that's how you can get a lot of these really, really pretty crystals like amethysts and quartz crystals and things like that. So yeah, that's all the rocks. We have metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary rocks. We know about the rock cycle and how the different rocks are formed. We know that minerals are non-living materials like gold and silver. And we know that crystals are formed when those minerals are trapped in rock and the rock gets washed away. So now we're going to make our very own crystal sun catchers. And we're going to do that in just a second. And it's going to be super fun. So I'll see you there. All right, so welcome back. So we're going to be doing our hands-on experiment and craft. And we're going to make what is called a crystal sun catcher. So this is a crystal sun catcher. It's really, really cool. Essentially what it is we have created our own salt crystals and eroded it away with water and evaporation. And you get to make this cool crystal formation. And then you can put a hole through it with some string, hang it up like in a garden or a window, and it'll make all kinds of cool and different light patterns. So I'm going to show you how to make this. There's definitely some advanced things that we can do, which I will talk about, but I didn't do them myself because this thing does take a little bit of time. And I'm going to keep this in the shot just so you can look at it. All right, so the supplies that you're going to need is you're going to need some sort of clear plastic lid. The clearer, the better. Now, different things you can use like a sauce lid, which is what I used for the first one. This one is the lid to like a salsa thing. You could use a drink lid, something like that, but it just needs to be able to hold water, and you want it to be clear so that you can see through it. Now, if you want, you could make one out of an opaque top if you just want to like look at it, but I definitely recommend the clear ones because then you can hang it up and have the sunlight go through it, and it makes all kinds of cool little designs and stuff. So that's the first thing you need. Second thing you need is just your standard issue measuring cup. And then the last thing that you need is Epsom salt. And it does specifically have to be Epsom salt. You could try this with regular table salt or sea salt. I don't know if it will work, so I can't guarantee that, but I know it definitely works with Epsom salt. Then the optional materials that you may want, if you have multiple lids and you want to make multiple experiments all at once, you'll probably want a tray because we do have to carry these towards a windowsill to help the evaporation process. You can also use food coloring if you want to dye your crystals different colors, which makes them even more cool when you put them in the sun. And lastly, you'll probably want scissors or an X-Acto knife, but you'll want your parents to deal with that. And then a piece of string. Now, I goofed and I did not leave room to do that. I really wanted to. But when you pour it, you want to make sure you don't pour it all the way around, because what you'll want to do is cut a hole in this outside area to put the string through. But I can't do that. These crystals are actually very fragile, and if I try to poke a hole in it, it'll probably break the whole thing. So Mr. J goofed, but I'm telling you so you won't goof. All right, so how do we do it? So the first thing you're going to need is hot water. If you have a parent with you, you can boil the water and it'll go a lot faster. But if you don't have a parent with you, or if you just don't want to deal with boiling water, which is fine, you can use just regular hot water. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we got our hot water. And you're going to want to do just a 1-to-1 ratio. So what that means is if you have 1 cup of water, you're going to want to add 1 cup of Epsom salt. If you do 2 cups of water, 2 cups of Epsom salt, and so on. So we've got our 1 cup of water. Now let's add our 1 cup of Epsom salt. All right, so now we have 1 cup of water and 1 cup of Epsom, or 1 cup of hot water, sorry, and 1 cup of Epsom salt. Now, the next thing you'll want to do is stir it. And I actually just totally realized I forgot my spoon. But you want to go ahead and stir it while it's hot. The hotter the better. Like I said, if you can have it boiling first, it'll go a lot quicker. But if not, if you just have regular hot tap water, it only takes about 3 minutes. And so you just put your spoon, I'm using my finger because I forgot it, and you just stir, and you stir, and you stir, and you stir for about 3 to 5 minutes. Once you have it all stirred, it becomes something called hypersaturated. And that makes it so that evaporating it is extra easy. So let's just pretend that I stirred it all up and it's hypersaturated. I've stirred it for 5 minutes, right? So then you're going to take your lid and you're going to pour the mixture into the lid. And you do want to leave some room, so don't fill up all the way like Mr. J did the first time when I messed up. You want to leave some room so that you can punch a hole for your string. So I'm only going to fill it up a little bit so that I have room to punch my hole. So you pour it in there. All right, so that's good. And it's hard to see and I can't really pick it up without disturbing it, but there's enough room that if I want, I can be very careful and punch a hole through it. Now, if you want to use food coloring, this is where you would use the food coloring. You could put a couple of drops in here, or you could also do it beforehand if you'd like, but you can put a couple of drops in here, and then that way it'll be colorful when it's all finished. I wanted to do one without the food coloring just so that you could see what it looks like, but it's going to look really cool if you add food coloring. All right, so once you have your solution, this is where the tray comes in handy if you have more than one. You want to move these to a place where it's really well lit. So like a windowsill is the best, or if you have like an outdoor deck that's screened in or something, you can put that in there, but you want it to be still and you want it to get a lot of sunlight. That way it'll evaporate quicker. Within the first couple of hours, you'll already start to see the salt crystals forming. And this one here, I did it maybe about 2 or 3 days ago. So it happens real quick. And we had rain and stuff the whole time. So I can only imagine on super sunny days it go real fast. Once it's all dry, you just want to make sure that you're very careful because they are very fragile. And these will not last forever either. After a while, they'll become so brittle that they'll start to crack and fall and break apart. But that's okay because you can make more with cool new designs. And I know for me, I got this big old bag of salt just to do one little sun catcher. So I'm going to make lots of them. And hope that you make lots of them too. And then once you're done, you just string it up and you can hang it in a window or you can hang it outside on a tree limb and look at all of the pretty different colors and designs that it makes. All right, so that's it for this experiment, and hope to see you next month. I don't remember what the theme is next month, but just check on the description and it should tell you. Thank you so much for coming. Bye.